could have been a lot better off if we had just chosen different candidates from the start, but we didn't, so now we're all doomed. Yay!
I tried to see if I could book a flight to Canada.
I think that people are panicking about it too much, and that most of the things he said he's probably not going to actually do, and he did it just like to get the media coverage on him.
I think that it makes sense considering the rise of populist movements in Europe and other parts of the world in reaction to more immigration and more terrorism going on. But I do not think that he would be a good president. And yeah, I would have voted for Hillary if I could vote.
Honestly, I was surprised because the whole time I was like, nah, Trump's not gonna win. He's a joke. Like, how can Donald Trump, who has got to be one of the most ignorant, flagrantly ignorant people I've ever seen, especially running for president, I just didn't think it was gonna happen. And then it did happen, and I was like, wow, this is really going down. And then the fact that the House is majority Republican at this point, the Senate is majority Republican at this point, the Supreme Court, and now having Donald Trump as president, I just feel like everything Obama worked up is just gonna get torn down, and it's not gonna be good. His policy with immigration, I think there's a chance that people who are here that are not quite citizens yet will not have the chance to become citizens.
Illegal immigrants really shouldn't be allowed in, and maybe we don't need to kick all of them out, but if they do have a criminal history, maybe we should send them back.
As you can see on his Twitter, he likes to call people out, which is ridiculous. Doesn't know how to behave himself, especially not as a head of state. How is he gonna interact with other heads of state around the world? I just can't even.
Trump is a little bit way too truthful. He just yells out his opinion no matter, he does not have a filter, which I think is somehow good and yet bad at the same time, but it's better knowing what he's thinking than being not told anything and secrets kept from you with Hillary. So either way, I think we're pretty screwed.
Needs to be some type of change happening, and I think that Donald Trump over Clinton definitely had a stronger ideology of change, or at least vocally displayed that.
What are some positive and negative aspects you believe both candidates had?
Clinton, I believe that I think that there was a sort of stability where the nation is now, and I think she's going to keep it close to where it is now. And it wasn't in complete chaos like some people had described it as. And there was the idea of a woman president, which was always encouraging. And for Donald Trump, I think that there's the economy recovering. I don't agree with his issue on deportation, but I think he can definitely strengthen the economy.
Yes, politicians, after being politicians for so long, can get kind of jaded, with the email incident and stuff. In order to get stuff done, you sometimes have to play a little dirty. And that's got to be a downside to Hillary, but I think that overall, she kind of stood for what Obama stood for. She knows what she's doing. She could have gotten some stuff done positively. And then Donald Trump, you asked me to give positives of Donald Trump? That's difficult. Can I just not give a positive? I mean, I dislike him very strong. I think once you cross the line of racism and sexism is when I just lose all respect for you as a person, and he did that, so.
I think for America, what's going to affect us is not the outcome of the election, but how we react to the outcome. We need to behave like citizens. We need to be civilized. We are Americans. We're all Americans, no matter what color, what race, where you're from. You live in this country. You are an American. And we need to stand as a nation together, united, not protesting against the other side and assaulting people. I mean, there's been cases where people are going and pulling people out of their cars and beating them just because they thought that they voted for Trump, or they thought because they voted for Hillary. And it's ridiculous. People are going to have different opinions, and we need to accept that, because your opinion matters just as much as theirs does, and their opinion matters just as much as yours does. And that's something that it seems like we've lost in this country. It seems like if you're on a side, that's the right side to you. You can't take into consideration any other ideas. We're such a closed-minded type of society. And it's just depressing. It really is.